Hey, welcome back guys. So today on this video, we are talking about the MyVanilla Prepaid Debit Visa Card. And more specifically, we're going to try to answer the question if you should buy one of these MyVanilla Prepaid Cards for your minor kids that are under 18, so your children. So let's go ahead and talk about this. First off, if you're not familiar with the MyVanilla Prepaid Debit Visa Card, it's one of the more popular prepaid cards on the market right now. And basically all it is you buy these cards at a local retailer. I bought this one at CVS. Once you buy the card, then you can load cash, green cash onto the card. Once that happens, then you can usually use it at most places that accept debit Visa, which is most places these days, and then you can keep reloading money onto the card once you've registered and activated it. But should you get one for your minor kids that are under 18 to help them manage their money? That's what we're going to talk about. So if you don't have your MyVanilla prepaid debit card already, be sure to check my video description. I'll try to leave a referral link there. But when you're considering buying one of these cards for your minor kids, there's a couple of things you want to go ahead and consider before you do that. The first is, according to federal guidelines, MyVanilla is required to gather a lot of personal information in order to activate and register this as a prepaid debit card. And in order to do that, I needed to add in my date of birth, my social security number, and then also my physical mailing address. And without that information, then MyVanilla will not activate this as a reloadable prepaid debit card. They also verify my age, that I'm over the age of 18, because the terms of service on the card is you need to be at least 18. So if you buy this card and you give it to your children to use, once they go to activate it, MyVanilla would verify their date of birth, and when they notice that they're under 18, they will not activate it as a prepaid reloadable card. However, at that point, they can activate the card as more of a gift card. So basically what that means, they will not be able to load money onto the card, or you will not be able to load more money onto the card for your kids, and it basically becomes a gift card. So any money that's on the card, your minor kids would be able to use it, but once that money is used up, they cannot use it anymore. The card is no longer any good. So if that's what you're looking for and you want to go ahead and get your card and let your kids use it as a gift card, that would be fine. But if you plan on having them activate it, it's going to be an issue if they're under the age of 18. Now, a lot of times when I talk about that with other parents, they just say, well, I'll go ahead and activate the card under my name, my social security number, and my date of birth. That way the card is allowed to be used as a prepaid debit card. There's a couple of things that you want to consider before doing that. I know that a lot of people do that for their children, but if you're going to do that, first off, when MyVanilla sends you a personalized debit Visa card in the mail, that debit Visa card is going to have your name right here, not your children's name. And the issue with that is when you give it to them and then they go to use it at like a Walmart or a 7-Eleven, the teller there may or may not accept it since their name is not here on the card. So if they're not able to use it for some reason, or it gets rejected because the names aren't matching up with their ID, then it wouldn't really be worth it to go ahead and go through that process of activating and registering under your name. The second thing you want to consider if you decide to get a MyVanilla prepaid debit card under your name and give it to your minor kids is that if your minor kids or children use this card to purchase something illegal or something immoral or something they're not supposed to, even though you're not the one making the transaction, your name is lightly associated with that because it's your name, your date of birth, your social security number that's registered on the MyVanilla prepaid debit card. So even though the kids used it, it could come back and be an annoying situation for you to have to deal with personally. And also, even if your kids do not do anything illegal or they're up to par, they don't do anything morally questionable, if they're going to be using their MyVanilla prepaid debit Visa card on the internet scams and internet phishing scams are pretty common these days. So if your kids decide to use this card online, and let's say that someone performs a phishing scam with them, gets the credit card, gets the prepaid debit card information from them, and then that person uses the card for something illegal or something that you don't want your name associated with, like say an adult website for children or something like that, then you probably don't want to use that either, because that person, if they decide to use it in an illegal manner, even though it wasn't your kid who did it, and even though it wasn't you, your name, your social security number, your date of birth is all tied to this card. So it could be just an annoying situation to have to explain and having to deal with. So to make a long story short, should you get a MyVanilla prepaid debit Visa card for your minor kids under your name? I'd probably say no. And the only reason I might give this to a minor kid is if you're going to get it